Hello everyone, here I am Bharti Khatri, student of 4th year MBBS from Institute of Liaquat University of Health and Science, Jamshoro. Here I am going to present you a short video on retinal detachment, so let's get started. We will cover our topic retinal detachment under 3 headings: definition and types, signs, symptoms, and the treatment of the retinal detachment in the end. Okay. Now first of all, the definition of the retinal detachment: the separation of the sensory layer of retina from the pigmented epithelial layer of retina by the subretinal fluid is known as retinal detachment. Now basically there are two layers of retina, the sensory layer of retina and the other is pigmented layer of retina, and the space between these two layers is known as subretinal space, and when due to any reason the fluid is accumulated in this layer, it causes the separation of these two layers of retina, okay, which is known as retinal detachment. Now here you can see in this diagram the normal retina in which both layers are approximated with each other. In this you can see the sensory retina is separated from the pigmented layer of retina, okay. This is known as retinal detachment. Types of retinal detachment: first is the rhegmatogenous or primary retinal detachment, second is non-rhegmatogenous or secondary retinal detachment, which is divided into two main subtypes. First is tractional retinal detachment, other is exudative retinal detachment. Now rhegmatogenous retinal detachment, it occurs when there is complete break in the thickness of the sensory retina, because the break in sensory retina allows the fluid from vitreous shield to enter the subretinal space that finally results into the separation of sensory retina from the pigment epithelial retina. And the main cause of the rhegmatogenous retinal detachment is the posterior vitreous detachment, because posteriorly the vitreous is very strongly attached to the retina, okay, and when this vitreous is detached from the retina, it also pulls the sensory retina away from the retinal pigmented epithelium. Now the second, non-rhegmatogenous retinal epithelium, in this the separation of the sensory retina from the pigment epithelium retina occurs due to presence of the secondary causes, and depending on the secondary causes it is divided into two main subtypes: tractional and the exudative retinal detachment, okay. Now tractional retinal detachment, in this retinal detachment is caused due to the contraction of the vitreoretinal membrane. This contractional force pulls the sensory retina away from the retinal pigment epithelium. Now actually what happens, for suppose in proliferative diabetic retinopathy, here is the formation of the fibrous band, okay, fibrous band in the vitreous chamber which pulls the sensory retina away from the retinal pigment epithelium when it contracts, okay. And the main cause of the tractional retinal detachment is also proliferative diabetic retinopathy, okay. Now the exudative retinal detachment, in this retinal detachment occurs due to damage to the retinal pigment epithelium which allows the fluid from choriocapillaries to enter the subretinal space. Now why this happens? Because the retinal pigment epithelium form the barrier between the retina and the blood, so damage to the retinal pigment epithelium allows the blood to enter the subretinal space from the choriocapillaries, okay. Now the causes of the exudative retinal detachment may be the ocular inflammation, tumors, or the systemic hypertension, toxin of pregnancy, etc., okay. Now here you can see the diagram of the rhegmatogenous retinal detachment, in which the break in the full thickness of the sensory layer of retina causes the fluid from the vitreous chamber to enter into the subretinal space, okay, which causes the separation of these two layers of retina. Now here is the diagram of the tractional retinal detachment, in which there is no any break in the sensory retina, but the fibrous band in the vitreous chamber causes the separation of these two layers of retina, okay. Now symptoms: the patient comes to the ophthalmologist with the following 4 symptoms. First of all, floaters. The patient perceives moving black spot in his or her visual field due to the vitreous opacity, okay. The second symptom is photosphia, means flashing light are perceived by the patient due to traction on the retina, and the sudden paleness, loss of vision if macular region is involved. And the fourth one is visual field defect, in which the patient perceives black curtains in his or her visual field, which is also due to the detachment of the peripheral retina, okay. Now here you can see in this diagram the floaters are present, perceived by the patient. Here is the flashing light which is perceived by the patient in his visual field, and here are black curtains in the periphery of the visual field, and these are perceived by the patient, okay. Now signs of the retinal detachment: on fundus examination what we see, detached retina looks greyish white and raised above the surface. Detached retina is thrown into multiple folds which oscillate with the movement of the eye. One or more holes or tear may be seen commonly in the upper temporal region. In total retinal detachment, the retina is funnel shaped, being attached anteriorly to the ora serrata and posteriorly to the optic disc. Blood vessels appears darker with the tortuous course at the surface. Schaffer signs positive means the dusk-like black spots are present in the vitreous chamber. Relative afferent pupillary defect is present and total retinal detachment. Intraocular pressure is also reduced. Okay. Here is the diagram of the retinal detachment. Here the retina is detached. Okay, now here you can see the grayish retina which is detached, grayish white. Okay, here is the retinal tear, here is detached retina which is grayish white in color. Here you can see folds in the retina, okay, multiple folds, and here you can see the blood vessels are tortuous. Okay, now finally the treatment of the retinal detachment. The principle of the treatment: first, to seal the retinal brake. So all the retinal brakes should be detected, localized and sealed by producing the aseptic inflammation in choroid and retina, because this inflammation causes the scar formation and this scar seals the retinal brake in the primary retinal detachment. Okay, now this is achieved by photocoagulation and cryotherapy. Now the photocoagulation, this is a surgical process that uses an intense laser beam to destroy the diseased retinal tissue or to make a scar that will hold the retina in cases of detached retina. Okay. Now another method for seal the brake is cryotherapy. This is a procedure in which the surgeon uses extreme cold to freeze the outer surface of the eye, which can cause scar tissue to develop and seal a brake, because extreme cold induces the inflammation which causes the scar formation and seals the brake. Now the second principle is to approximate the sclera, choroid and the detached retina. This is achieved by scleral buckling. It is a gold standard method. In this procedure, a silicone band or sponge is stitched around the sclera of the eye and surgically sewn in place. The scleral buckling is designed to support the retina by pushing the sclera towards the middle of the eye, which can reattach the retina and close the retinal tears. Okay. Now here another method for the approximation is pneumatic retinopathy, in which the suitable gases such as sulfur hexafluoride or silicon oil is used as a vitreous substitute to produce internal tamponade. Another process is pars plana vitrectomy. It is a 3-probe surgical process which breaks the tractional band in the vitreous, thus releasing the pull on the retina in cases of retinal detachment. And the fourth one is subretinal fluid drainage. The subretinal fluid is drained in long-standing cases which approximate a sensory layer of retina to the pigment layer of epithelium. Now here you can see the diagram of the scleral buckling, in which there is a buckle is induced and then it is sewn surgically, which pushes the sclera towards the middle of the eye and approximate the retinal layers. Okay, and thank you very much guys for listening, and please guys to subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much.